Hey everyone, and welcome back. You know, we always like to stay on top of the latest AI developments. Well, get this. ChatGPT just got a huge GE upgrade.
Huge fat.
I mean, we're not just talking about a few tweaks here and there. This is a whole new feature called Canvas. And here's the kicker. It's not just for the techies out there.
It really does have implications for anyone who uses language. Or code, for that matter.
If you've ever worked on a presentation, brainstormed ideas, basically anything that involves creating something, this is going to be big.
OpenAI is really pushing the boundaries here, moving beyond that simple question-and-answer format we're used to with AI.
So no more just asking, like, what's the capital of France?
Exactly. This is about true collaboration, a partnership that can actually elevate your work.
Okay, so I'm hooked, but I need details.
Fair enough.
What exactly is Canvas?
So imagine this. It's like you've got your own personal writing studio.
Okay, I like where this is going.
But instead of being alone, ChatGPT is right there beside you. It's a separate window where you collaborate on projects.
Okay, so not just single prompts back and forth.
Nope. We're talking diving deep into more complex stuff.
Things that require editing, refining, multiple revisions.
Exactly. And the engine behind it all is GPT-4o, their newly improved language model, specifically designed for this kind of collaborative environment.
So it's like having a super-powered editor in your back pocket.
My God.
I mean, I can see how that would be useful.
Highlight a section, get instant feedback and suggestions. It's not about replacing your work. It's about understanding the context of your whole project.
And offering guidance.
Exactly.
But you're still in complete control.
Absolutely. You make the edits directly. You can even use shortcuts to request certain changes from ChatGPT.
So if I need to make a section shorter,
Done.
adjust the reading level for a different audience.
No problem.
What about going back to a previous version? Because let's be real, sometimes we mess up.
That's all tracked. They've really focused on user-friendliness with this one.
Wait, hold on, rewind for a sec. Did I hear that right? You can even add emojis. Because that is kind of amazing and hilarious.
You did.
Okay, but get this. It's not just for writing.
You're right. It's not.
All right, spill the beans. What else can it do?
Coding. They've also designed Canvas to handle coding projects.
Now that is interesting.
Think about how much back and forth coding requires, the constant refining and iterating. It's easy to get lost when you're trying to track all those changes within a standard chat window.
Oh, I've been there. It gets messy fast.
Exactly.
So how does Canvas help?
It makes it incredibly easy to see exactly what ChatGPT changed, and more importantly, why.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's not all. The coding-specific shortcuts are super helpful.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Code review, adding comments and logs,
Yeah.
bug fixing, even translating code into different languages. It's all right there.
Okay, that is seriously cool. But I have to ask, how does it actually work? What's the magic happening behind the scenes to make all this possible?
This is where OpenAI's work gets really impressive.
What did they do? Build a supercomputer powered by hamsters on wheels?
Not quite. They've basically trained GPT-4o to be more than just a question and answer tool.
So it's not just spitting out information.
They've taught it to be your creative partner.
So they basically had to teach it to understand good writing and coding.
Exactly. And to know when to offer suggestions and when to let you work.
Because no one wants annoying pop-ups for simple tasks, right? So how did they do it?
They focused on 3 core behaviors. First, recognizing when to open Canvas. Second, making targeted edits based on your input rather than just rewriting entire sections. And finally, and this is a big one, providing really high-quality, accurate comments and suggestions.
Which is surprisingly difficult for AI to do well.
It really is. They used a combination of automated and human evaluation to fine-tune these behaviors.
So it's not just about getting the code right, it's about acting like a true collaborator.
Exactly.
This is blowing my mind.
It's pretty amazing stuff.
But let's bring this back down to earth for our listeners.
Good idea.
Why should they care? What does all this mean for the average person?
I think this has the potential to be a complete game changer for productivity, creativity, even learning new skills.
Like, give me a real-world example.
Sure. Imagine you work on a presentation and you hit a wall.
Been there?
Now, you can bounce ideas off of AI, get instant feedback on your phrasing, the overall structure, and it all happens in real time.
It's like having a brainstorming buddy available 24/7. No more waiting for feedback from colleagues.
Exactly. Or let's say you're trying to learn a new coding language.
Canvas could be that patient tutor you need.
Exactly. walking you through each step, catching errors, and suggesting solutions, all within the context of your own project.
So this isn't just about speeding up what we can already do. This is about opening up entirely new possibilities.
In changing how we approach problems.
I like the sound of that.
It's a fundamental shift in how we interact with AI, not just a minor upgrade.
It really makes you wonder where this is all headed.
It really does.
If this is what they can do now, what will AI collaboration look like in a year? 5 years?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's not just about the technology.
It's about how we adapt to it.
How it changes our workflows or creative processes,
Uh-huh.
our very understanding of intelligence itself.
Okay, now we're getting deep.
I know, right?
This feels so much bigger than just a software update. It's like we're getting a glimpse into the future of, well, everything.
I know what you mean. And the crazy thing is, this is just the beginning.
So while we're still kind of wrapping our heads around all of this, I think there's one question our listeners definitely have.
You mean like when can they get their hands on it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling after hearing all of this, they're going to want to dive in and experience Canvas for themselves.
Of course. And I don't blame them. It's really cool stuff. But as of right now, Canvas is still in beta.
So it's not available to everyone yet.
Not quite.
Got it.
It's currently only available for ChatGPT Plus and team users.
Ah, okay, so there's a little bit of a waiting list.
For now. But the good news is, OpenAI plans to roll it out to everyone eventually.
So if you're not already a Plus or Team user, you might have to be patient for a little while longer.
You and me both.
But in the meantime, I guess the best thing to do is just keep an eye out for updates and announcements from OpenAI, right?
Absolutely. They're constantly working on new stuff, and I have a feeling they have a lot more surprises in store for us.
I don't doubt that for a second. Okay, we've talked about what Canvas is, how it works, the tech behind it all, but I think it's important to circle back and really consider why this is such a big deal.
I agree. It's easy to get caught up in the how and forget about the why.
Exactly. And for me, it all boils down to this. This goes beyond just making things faster or more efficient. It's about fundamentally changing the very nature of how we work and think.
And how we create. Imagine being able to brainstorm a presentation with AI, get instant feedback on your ideas, refine them in real time.
It's like having a thought partner available 24/7 or even better, a team of experts always on call.
Exactly. And it's not just limited to creative tasks either. Think about research, for example.
Oh, that's a good one. Imagine having Canvas analyze a massive amount of data for you.
Exactly. It could help you identify patterns or connections that would have taken you weeks, maybe even months, to uncover on your own.
It's like having a super-powered research assistant working tirelessly by your side.
Exactly. Or let's say you're learning a new language. Canvas could help you translate complex text, explain grammar, even help you practice pronunciation, all within the context of your own project.
It's like having a personalized tutor in every subject imaginable.
Exactly. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
Okay, now I'm really getting excited about all of this, but I do think it's important to acknowledge the elephant in the room.
Which is?
With AI becoming such a powerful tool, how do we make sure human creativity isn't lost in the process?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's something we need to be mindful of as we move forward with all of this.
We don't want to become so reliant on AI that we lose sight of our own unique perspectives and insights.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance, that sweet spot, where we're using these tools to enhance our creativity, not replace it.
So how do we do that? How do we make sure we're not just becoming passive consumers of AI-generated content?
I think it's helpful to think of it this way. A professional artist might use the highest quality paints and brushes, but those tools alone don't make the art.
It's the artist's vision, their skill, their unique perspective that truly brings the canvas to life.
Exactly. In the same way, AI tools like Canvas are incredibly powerful, but they're still just that, tools.
It's up to us, the human users, to wield them in a way that amplifies our own creativity and ingenuity.
I love that analogy. It's a good reminder that we're still in the driver's seat.
We're calling the shots, we're setting the course.
Exactly. But I do think this new level of collaboration with AI raises some interesting questions.
Like what?
Well, for example, if we're constantly bouncing ideas off an AI and incorporating its suggestions, does that change how we value our own intuition?
That's a fascinating question, and I don't know if there's an easy answer.
Right, it's something we'll have to figure out as we go.
On the one hand, having access to a vast database of information and different perspectives can be incredibly valuable. It can help us see things from new angles and come up with more creative solutions.
But on the other hand, we don't want to become so reliant on AI that we start doubting our own judgment.
Or silencing that inner voice that often leads to those aha moments, those
Yeah.
breakthroughs.
I think you're right. It's almost like we need to learn a new way of collaborating, not just with AI, but with ourselves.
Learning to trust our instincts again, even when we have all this information at our fingertips.
And figuring out how to integrate these tools into our workflow in a way that complements our strengths.
And allows us to maintain our own creative autonomy. It's
Exactly.
like we're learning a whole new way of moving and thinking, you know?
It really is, yeah. And it's going to take some time to adjust.
It definitely will. But hey, maybe that's part of the excitement.
It definitely is.
I mean, think about it like this.
Okay, I'm listening.
Just a few years ago, most people didn't even know what AI stood for.
Oh,
And now we're talking about collaborating with it on a level that was practically science fiction back then.
right. It's incredible when you really think about it.
So where do we go from here?
Well, if I'm being honest, I think the most important thing right now is to stay curious.
Don't be afraid to experiment, try new things.
Exactly. Because honestly, we're all still figuring this out as we go.
There's no instruction manual for this sort of thing.
Nope. No rule book for how to collaborate with AI.
It's a whole new world out there.
It really is.
And the best way to navigate it is to jump in and see where it takes us.
Exactly.
And who knows, we might even surprise ourselves along the way.
I think we will.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
It's flown by.
I know, right? But we've covered a lot of ground today, from the technical details of OpenAI's new Canvas feature to the broader implications of AI collaboration for creativity, productivity, even our sense of self.
It's been quite the journey.
It really has. But hey, that's what deep dives are all about, right?
Absolutely.
So to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this adventure. Keep exploring, keep asking questions,
Yeah.
and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive into the world of AI and beyond. Until then.